Hello, everybody. My name is Fred, and I am the host of On Your Mark, Get Set, Bro. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so it has been a minute since I did a show. I have been out of pocket. It's been a very busy time for me. I guess part of it has to do with the typical spring cleaning items that you have to take care of, putting away things you no longer need for the winter, getting your AC in check to make sure it survives through the summer. I've been working on lots of things to get ready for the upcoming heat because it is coming. There's no doubt about that. But I'm back. I'm back, and hopefully, I did get everything taken care of that I needed to prepare for the summer, and we should be back on track. So yeah, this is episode number nine. Nine. Okay, the season. It actually started, and I know you're probably seeing the title of the shows as season one, and it's season one because it's the first year, the first 12-month period for the shows. So yeah, this is number nine. The first one was in December, so even though it was 2023, I still consider it season one because we haven't reached December yet. So December 2024, I will start naming these season number two. So, yeah, we are in season one, episode nine, and we're going to get this thing going. And we're going to get it going the way we always do, right? We always started off with our call from Jose-phina. So, Jose-phina, we're gonna go ahead and kick it off with that phone call right now. Hello?
Hi, Fred. This is Jose-phina. How are you?
Oh, hi, Jose-phina. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Listen, did you see the eclipse on April 8th? I was right in the path, and when it got over me, I thought it was night.
Yeah, I remember the eclipse. I wasn't in the direct path, but I did get some of it. It did get dark. I think we might have been around 80%, not 100% like where you live.
Well, I worked the night shift at the corner of, you know which corner. Anyway, when it passed over me, I thought I was late for work. Then I remembered I didn't have anybody scheduled until later.
Yeah, I heard it looked like it was nighttime where you were, so I'm sure it did throw you off and everyone else as well. Well, I'm working on the recording for the show. Do you have anything you want to say to the bros?
Yes, I do. Mira, I want to wish all the bros an awesome weekend. If you want to see another eclipse, let me know and I'll show you my ring of fire. Ciao.
Well, all right. That was the call from Jose Fina. Thank you, Jose Fina, for calling in and wishing all the bros a happy weekend. Thank you very much. And you know what? It is the weekend, and at the beginning of the show, not only do I want to kick it off with the call from Jose-phina, but we also want to kick it off with. I'm a little thirsty. I don't know about you guys, but we're gonna kick it off with something delicious. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. All right, so today what we're gonna drink is we're gonna sip on. You know, on the weekends, I typically I'll drink a beer. I'll drink some beer, but I'll go ahead and drink some kind of something harder, right? Something a little harder than beer, and I don't like to get drunk on it, but I do like to sip on it. And what I'm gonna sip on during the show is a little bit of moonshine. Okay, it's now this one is Old Smoky. It's kind of blurry there. I don't know if you can see it, but this one's called Old Smoky. And they do have it at Total Wine where I go. I think it's clearer if I pull it back. But yeah, this one is the, let me see if I can see it, the Blue Flame Moonshine. Okay, and they sell it in the big bottles, but I like to get the small ones whenever I go to Total Wine to, restock my bar if I'm low on anything. Um, I like to get one of these. Uh, I'll get the big one too, but I like to get the small ones because not only can I sip directly out of it like it's in a shot glass, but it's because it is a shot glass. So once you're done with it, that's exactly what you can use it for. You can use it as a shot glass. Look at this, a shot glass with a lid. So here we go. Oh yeah, this one is good. It's very potent too. Oh yeah, that's a good one. This is an excellent one. This will wake you up. But if you drink too much, it'll put you to sleep. So you pick your poison. All right, so here we go. We're gonna get this thing going. Um, so one of the first things I wanted to talk about here is paranormal, and I think in one of the previous episodes I mentioned that. One of the previous episodes I did mention that some weird things were happening, in the house. One of the things back in, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 episodes ago is one of the toys, one of the kids' toys. It was just going off. And it's one of those kind of toys. It was in a box in the living room, and it's one of those kind of toys where you actually have to move it to make the sound go off. It plays a song and it says some words, and it just song's about maybe 30 seconds long, right? And I heard a noise in the middle of the night, and I got up, and that toy is just going off. I don't know why, right? Then I had when I figured out what it was, I had to dig it out from the bottom of the box, and I'm not sure what would have made it move, but I don't know. And it just kept doing it. It just kept repeating until I turned it off. I had to manually turn it off. But then it stopped. And I think in that previous episode, I also mentioned where the TV would come on a few times in the middle of the night. And I get up early in the morning, so, the TV would be on. Not sure what would have caused that. Some other stuff happened in that episode that I mentioned, but I can't remember everything. But this week, what happened is on Monday, I got up for work like I normally do, 5 in the morning. I'm walking out of the room. I work from home, so, it doesn't take me long to get ready for work. I just have to walk to the front office, the office in the front of the house. And I have to pass through the living room. And on Monday, when I walked out, I looked upstairs because the ceiling is like 16 feet. in the living room, and there's a balcony. You can see the railing for the top floor, and one of the lights was on upstairs, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was in the game room area, so I went upstairs, and I figured maybe one of the kids turned on the light middle of the night, maybe going to the restroom. I don't know. So I went upstairs, and that light in the middle of the game room has two different light switches on opposite sides of the room. One is near the restroom, the other one's on the other side of the game room along the wall. And the first thing I looked at was the switch, and it was in the off position. So I don't know if you're familiar with these types of switches when you have multiple switches for one light source. If you turn one on, you can turn it off by doing the switch on the other one, right? And if you do it in the opposite direction here, it'll turn it on. And you know, you can switch it back and forth. So one of the switches will be in the on position even though it's off, and the other one's in the off position even though it's off, right? But if you sync them up just right, you can do it to where they're both up to be on or both down to be off. Well, that's the first thing I checked, and both switches were in the off position. So that threw me off. So I did the switch in the on position, and the light flickered but stayed on. I put it in the off position, it flickered and it stayed on. And I did that a few times, up and down, and it would just flicker and stay on. It wouldn't turn off. So finally, I went to the other switch, and I turned it in the on position, and it stayed on. And then I put it in the off position, and it turned off. So I went back to the other switch, and I turned it on. It turned on. Put it in the down position, and it turned off. And it was working normal after that. So I don't know. It may not be paranormal, but it could just be an electrical issue. I don't know. The house isn't that old. I think it's 12 years old. It doesn't mean anything, I guess, but you know, it hasn't happened since, and it never happened before. So I'll just keep an eye on that one. I'll just chalk it up to a possible electrical issue. I don't know. I'll just keep an eye on it, like I said. And on Tuesday, same thing. Get up for work, 5 in the morning. I'm walking through the living room. The TV is on. You know, so this is back-to-back days. Television is on. No sound. It's on that screensaver mode, right? To where when you turn your TV on, if you don't have the cable box turned on, then you'll get a bunch of screensaver images, right? And that's exactly what it was doing. TV was on with just screensaver images. It's kind of weird. So I turned that off, and I just carried on my normal routine for the day. And nothing else happened. I was expecting something else to happen Wednesday, and it didn't. So I guess for now, we're good. And I will keep you updated if anything else happens. So yeah, that was the paranormal experience that I had this week. But switching, we're gonna switch to a different topic here, and we're gonna talk a little bit about sports. It's been a minute since we talked about sports, right? Yeah, so the baseball season kicked off, and we're about 20 games into the season right now, and you know, I'm not very happy with the way the Houston Astros are starting off. Yeah, so, you know, they do have a habit of slow starts. So it's not out of the ordinary, nothing unusual. The last 7 years, they've made it to the AL championship, right? So, and in those 7 years, I know they've had some slow starts. At least 3 years ago that I can remember, even 2 years ago, where I wasn't sure if they were going to continue with their dynasty, because I think at this point they can be considered a dynasty. 2 World Series championships, 7 AL championships appearances in the in that time frame, the 7 years. So you know, I'm a little nervous about the start of this year. I think they are 7-14 right now, and they are Verlander. Justin Verlander's back, and he looked really good the other night. So I'm not feeling too. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, Friday was his first appearance of the 2024 season. He was injured, so he didn't start off the year with the team. And I'm looking right now, and it's the bottom of the ninth inning against the Nationals. They played the Nationals yesterday, and they won that game 5-3. And right now, the bottom of the ninth, well, it's tied. Bottom of the ninth, 4-4. So yeah, they're gonna go into extra innings, hopefully, because it's the bottom. So the Nationals score one more run. I guess that'll be it, right? But yeah, they are playing better, I guess. These last couple of days, maybe Verlander gave him a kickstart. We'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. So yeah, so that's the sports. Let's go on to so I want to talk about some of the weird things that have been happening in this world. And you know what? I've been preaching about this in several episodes. We have to be ready for anything. This world, I think, uh, it's. I guess we're in somewhat of a chaotic period. Um, Economically, with all the wars that are going on. And on that note, wanted to mention that we've had war. It seems like pretty much nonstop, right? Since I don't know, since the 2000s. Heck, I mean before that, right? The 90s, the mid 90s with the Gulf War and everything. We've been in a war. Maybe not active, especially here recently, not actively in a war, but we are involved in it and have been to some extent recently. We have been involved in it. Um, so it made me think not too long ago, maybe about a week, two ago, maybe three, where you know it's not just the U.S. that is involved in these conflicts and wars. It's other countries. So how do we know that we are not already in a world war? Right. And the reason I say that is because, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode, is we didn't call it World War One back in, when did it start? I don't know, when was it? 1913 to 1918, around that period. We didn't call it World War One back then. We didn't call it World War One until like 1939, like 20 years later. And maybe more than that. So in World War Two, that was from 1939 to 1945, I think. It was not called World War Two until that war was basically over. Um, it was in 1945, I think it was, when it was named World War Two. So um, I guess what I'm trying to say is we may already be in a world war. We just haven't named it World War Three. So, I mean, that's something to think about. And we may not name it until later. But, we'll see what happens. So, sort of on that note, I do want to just do this Bible verse reading that, it's kind of related to all that. So this one is from Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 36 and 37. And the reason I'm going to these two verses is because the way things are looking in this world, I mean, gosh, it seems like we're getting close, right? To a possible apocalypse. I don't know. But I'm just going to read these two so that we can all start thinking mentally, right? Spiritually, to prepare ourselves because, we don't know what's going to happen and we should always be ready for anything like that. So, um, as a wake up call, I will say that with these two verses, it should give us pause, right, to think. In Matthew 24, verses 36 through 37. But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. So, yeah, we don't know when that day is coming, but we know it's coming, especially with the way things are going in this world right now. So, right now, time, what we're living through is very uncertain, right? We're living in the times of uncertainty. So we just need to be ready because we don't know when that will happen. So, Matthew 24, verses 36 and 37. And, kind of related to the paranormal and, the Bible and so on. There's a lot of history, not only with religion, but spirituality and how things that we go through and talk about and do what we do now, how they're related to the past. And there's a connection in why things are named a certain thing, why we do certain things, why we believe in certain things. And this is one, and I'm gonna label this segment the conspiracy or not segment, right? Because uh okay, so I don't really like to use that word conspiracy, um, only because it was invented by the three-letter agency, uh, the CIA, to debunk and I guess I guess to throw a wrench into what people were thinking might be happening and what the government might be doing, right? So they came up with that term to demean the people who were thinking and talking like that, and they called them conspiracy theorists, right? So that's where it comes from, and I think it was coined back in the '60s by the CIA. But yeah, I'm gonna name this one conspiracy or not. I mean, you be the judge. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of these fairy tales and myths, there is some truth to them, right? So I think with conspiracies, I think it's the same thing, right? There may be some truth. It may not be 100% true, but there is some truth in there somewhere, right? So here's what I was thinking. So, and I did some research on this because I don't watch movies. I really don't. There are so many movies out there that people say, "Oh my gosh, this was a good movie, this, that, and the other." But I have my reasons for not watching movies, and I started doing some research on Hollywood. Okay, so I was thinking, okay, so where does that name Hollywood come from? Well, in my research, here's what I found. Okay, so back in the days of the Druids were, I guess, some people who lived out in the England, Scotland, Ireland area, right? Wales. Out there, those were the Druids who had certain beliefs and would perform certain things spiritually based on their beliefs. One of them was casting spells, right? And what they would do with sorcery, right? They would deal with sorcery and magic. And what they would do is they would make a wand out of wood And they would use and the tree that they made these magical wands with um, were from the holly tree. Okay, so I just mentioned Hollywood, right? And they would make the wands with wooden wands to cast spells and to do their sorcery, which with these wands made of the Hollywood tree. So it made me think, is that where it came from? Well, I mean, stop and think about it. Hollywood. Okay, so the Druids would make wands with wood made from the holly tree. Now, what does Hollywood do? They make they make movies, right? And in those movies, they give us a vision, right, of what they're portraying. They actually tell a story, but they're giving us the vision of that story. And where do those movies play? They play on your television. Okay, so it's Hollywood, and it's they're playing on your television, right? And who are these corporations that play the movies? Well, they are broadcast networks, right? So they are casting, they're broadcasting the vision from Hollywood. And how do they do it? Through channels. So they're channeling their broadcast on television. And, it made me think even deeper because, you know, you don't necessarily have to watch a movie nowadays on television. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your iPad, your tablet. But if you want to watch it on your television, what do you do from those devices? You cast them, right? So you're casting from those devices to your television. And I know it sounds kind of weird, right? But if you stop and think about it, I don't believe in coincidences. I honestly don't. Um, I think everything happens for a reason. Um, so there are just way too many coincidences in this one with Hollywood broadcasting, uh, with channels on your television, right? So I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me what you think, but this is what I found. These are just my findings, right? So you do your own research. I mean, people might call that a conspiracy, but or a coincidence. I don't. That's just way too many coincidences for me. I don't know about you, but it's just me thinking. Anyway, we'll move on. Oh, wait a minute. Before we move on, let's take another sip of this because it was pretty good. Ooh, it's like fire. What was that song by Jerry Jones? He called it White Lightning. Yeah. This one has a tint of blue, but it's the same thing. White lightning. White lightning is moonshine. And now it's time for
Javy the Wise.
Javy the Wise says, if a man opens a car door for a girlfriend, it means either the car is new or the girlfriend is new. Thank you, Javy, for your words of wisdom. Until next time.
Javy the Wise.
Okay, so I have a joke for you. So this one is the joke of the day, named Like Father, Like Son. And it's about this father and son. The father is a miser. He's very stingy with his money. He's very tight. So he's raising his son to be just like him. So one day, the son goes on a date with a girl, right? And the following day, the father, the miser, asks his son, "Son, how much did it cost when you took your girlfriend out to dinner last night?" And the son says, "Oh, Dad, it wasn't too much. It was only $25." And the dad, the miser, he says, "Oh, that's not too bad." And the son says, "Yeah, it would have been more, but that's all the money she had." That's my boy. On that note, I want to thank everyone for watching my episode number 9. I guess it's going to be titled Eclipse, even though that happened, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, right? So let's see here. I want to check one thing before we skip out. Oh, the Astros, they lost it in the 10th inning. Okay. Well, they can still win the series if they win tomorrow. So I'm going to keep an eye on them. They're not playing very consistent or very good at the moment. But the season is young, right? So once again, thank you all for watching this episode. If you haven't already done so, I'm asking that you please subscribe to the channel, give us that thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. It helps to spread the word, and I want to build this subscription. I think we're only up to, last time I checked, the mid-20s. So the only good thing about being this low is that I can only go up from here, right? We can only go up. So yeah, so thank you very much. Let me take another sip of this moonshine. That's some good stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this definitely after the show while I'm editing. Old Smoky. Look for it. It's good stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, monkeys and squirrels, butterflies and ants, and everyone in between. Until next time, on your mark, get set, bro.